looking today at finding the circumcenter and actually finding the exact point of the circumcenter. Here are the steps you're going to use. The main part of it is just finding the perpendicular bisectors. You'll need to do it for all three sides. And I'll tell you what the rest of that means in terms of finding best looking equations. But the main point is what you need to do for each of these sides. You need to find a midpoint. To give us a point, we'll need to find the slope, and then we'll need to find the slope perpendicular to it at that point. So for segment AB, we need to find a midpoint between A and B. So the x value, if you use the equation, it would be 10 plus 12 is 22 divided by 2 to get 11. Or you can just look and say, what's the middle number between 10 and 12? It would be 11. Same way we would get 13 for the midpoint, for the y value of the midpoint. Let's do all the midpoints real quick. For BC, we'd be looking at 12 and 4, so the x value is going to be 8. And then for 12 at negative 4, we'll have 8 divided by 2 to get you 4. And then for AC, the midpoint here, do the same thing. You should get 7 and 5. So now we need to find all the slopes as well. Let's start with AB. We'll go subtract the y, which will be 14 minus 12. If I did 14 minus 12, I need to do 10 minus 12 for my x value. So that means I'll have 2 over negative 2, which equals negative 1. That means my perpendicular slope, I need to take the opposite sign, so positive 1, and then flip it. Well, it was 1 over 1, which flipped is still 1. So now positive 1 in this case. Slopes here, you should get for BC, you should have 12 minus a negative 4 over 12 minus a positive 4 here. When I do that, simplifying, I would get on top, 12 minus negative 4 becomes a positive 16. 12 minus 4 on the bottom is 8. So I get 2. My perpendicular, the opposite sign, so now negative. Instead of 2 over 1, I'll have 1 over 2. And then for my last one, my slope here should be 14 minus negative 4 on top, 10 minus positive 4 on the bottom. So that means 18 over 6, which equals 3, which means perpendicular slope is negative 1 over 3. Now, for each one of these equations, the next step is to find an equation of the line. So we have a point, and we have a slope. So if we go y equals mx plus b and plug in what we know, the y value is 13, the slope is 1, my x value is 11. 13, 11, and 1 plus b. So I now need to find what b is by solving the equation. So b in this case equals 2. My final equation then is y equals mx plus b, where we plug in m and b. The m is 1, so 1x plus b, which is 2. Do the same thing for these. Y equals mx plus b. Plug in what we know. Y is 4, m is negative 1/2, x is 8, plus b. So 4 equals negative 4 plus b, which means 8 equals b. So here y equals negative 1/2 x plus 8. And the last one, y equals mx plus b. Y is 5, m is negative 1/3, x is 7, plus b. This one does not come out very great. Remember we said we're going to choose the 2 best looking equations in the end. This is not going to be one of them. 5 equals negative 7/3 plus b. When I do that subtraction, it should be about 7 point something. If I keep it in fraction form, it'll end up being 22 over 3 is equal to b. This equation, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 22 over 3. So that's all step 1. Step 2 told you to pick the 2 best looking equations. Well, the best looking ones are definitely going to be these first 2. And what we're going to do with these equations is say that if we take a look at them, if y equals stuff and y equals other stuff, then the 2 stuffs need to be equal to each other. So I'm going to say x plus 2 equals negative 1/2 x plus 8, and I'm going to try to solve for x. So I'll subtract 2 from both sides to give me x equals negative 1/2 x plus 6, and then I'll add 1/2 an x to each side, which will give me 1.5 x on the left equals 6. Divide by 1.5 gives me x equals 4. From there, I'm just plugging back into one of my original equations. It doesn't matter which. This one looks a lot easier. So y equals x plus 2. We know now that x is 4, so y equals 4 plus 2, or y equals 6. So my answer in the end is an ordered pair, 4, comma 6, and this is your circumcenter. So those are the steps you take to find the circumcenter of any triangle.